Hello all, we are trying a new approach to the staff notes this week. As was stated in last week's paper staff notes, if you are scheduled more than 8 hours, you will have a scheduled break, which will usually happen while your group is eating lunch. If you are only scheduled 8 hours, I will not necessarily schedule you a break. But if you need 10 or 15 minutes to step away, please call for admin so we can have someone cover your spot so that way you aren't leaving your other staff member or staff members alone. Once I send out the schedule, it's pretty much set. If it was an error on my end and you had turned in a time off request that was approved, then let me know as soon as you notice that error so it can be fixed. If you need to make a change because you forgot about an appointment or something, it will count as an unexcused call off, and you still have to document that in writing. I cannot keep track of all of those things that happen after the posted schedule. I've noticed that particularly in the afternoon, staff come in to check the assignments multiple times. First of all, just so you know, if it's more convenient for you, the assignments are also posted at the front counter. Also, the one in the staff room has index cards underneath it on top of the cubbies that you can write your assignments down on so you don't have to continually check every 15 minutes what you're doing next. With your assignments, you are often scheduled to clean. So if you have a specific cleaning job, please make sure you do that. If you are scheduled to clean on Fridays after some go to the pool, or if you are scheduled day camp cleanup or cleanup activities, or in the afternoon at 5 if yours says checklist, which is usually most everyone, at the front counter there is a 2-sided laminated sheet that has the things that need to be done after day camp, if you're scheduled for pool cleaning, and if you have time from 5 to 5:30 or 5:45. You can check off those things with a dry erase marker so that way everyone knows which things are being done. Additionally, if you are scheduled day camp prep, after you've looked thoroughly through your binder at your activities, often there will be some tasks that can be completed on the purple dry erase board. Usually there are some that are unique to certain groups, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that staff or those staff members completing those tasks. That's just which group it needs done for. Also, please remember that if you are day camp staff, that you need to be having your group clean up at about 7 minutes before their lunchtime is actually over. And that way one staff member can take them to the game room or somewhere off to the side to do a quick game like laser eyes or something like that, while one person stays and cleans a couple tables and some seats. And if the 2 or 3 groups that are eating both all do that, then it should be cleaned pretty quickly. Also, if you are scheduled B lunch, please make sure that someone takes the trash out. Usually we have 1 or 2 bags just after lunch. If you are leaving a room, please make sure you say, "Hey everyone, please push your chairs in," and then give a once over on the room to make sure it looks good before you're leaving. If you are scheduled to clean a room in the afternoon, please make sure that you're doing those things that are on the checklist by the doors. So, if you have computers out in room 1 and you're scheduled to clean room 1, then that means you're cleaning the tables, you're making sure chairs are pushed in, you're picking up trash, you might run the Bissell if you need to, and you're checking if the trash needs taken out. That is all part of the expectations when you're scheduled to clean a room. I almost forgot. if you are not on a break during lunchtime, then when your group is going through the line for lunch, if they are eating club lunch, then you need to check on the clipboard. So if someone from kindergarten wants to do kindergarten and first grade, that's fine. Or you can hand it off to the other grades as their group is coming through. Remember, you just check to see if they have a circle around the X after their name for that day. It seems we often have a question of when are these things open? Kids Central is generally open only after day camp and is usually closed between 5 and 5:15, so that way everything can get cleaned up. Brittany has also done a good job of moving the car mat upside down on top of the colored mats as a visual for when it's closed, and then taking it off in the afternoon and that's open. So if you do close it at 5 to clean up, then also flip that car mat over on top of the colored mats so all the youth know that it's closed as well. Room 2 in the morning when it's open, there will not be any video games. It will just be whatever activities are out for the day. And room 2 also should be closed at 5 so it can get picked up and tidy before we're done for the day. With the gym, there are times where we are not opening it for K4 side because technically the tweens and teens have access to use it. So for example, after we come back from the pool on Tuesdays, even if it seems empty, we are not scheduled to open the gym, so we will not be opening the gym. Another way to tell if room 2 is supposed to be open or not is to check your assignments. I occasionally mess up, but generally it will say game room / room 2 if room 2 is supposed to be open. So usually at 5, it only says game room instead of room 2 because that's when we close it. If you're scheduled game room / room 2, then make sure staff are taking turns rotating in and out of room 2 so that way room 2 has enough staff as well as the game room has enough staff to keep all the youth safe. The exception for if it's not assigned to very many people is that occasionally it's generally Friday after we come back from the pool when there will be a movie on in room 2 and there will just be 1 or 2 people specifically assigned in there and everyone else's should just say game room and they are scheduled for game room only unless they're trying to find where a kid is or something like that. For room 2, we are going to try a new procedure on games. So whichever staff are setting up for the afternoon, one of them can pick 5 games or activities, puzzles, whatever, to set out on different booths and tables, and those are the only options for the day. So there will be no more signing out or lanyards or anything, but the game closet will remain closed, and those are the only options. So if they don't like those options, they can try again a different day. When they play a game, they keep it at the table that it's at, and then when they're finished, they put it back in its box or container, nice and tidy how it should be for the next group of kids to play. At the end of the day, when we're cleaning up, those games can just be put back in the closet by a staff member. For the most part, everyone is doing a great job of putting supplies away, especially after day camp. Please remember that I do usually put where everything can go back to at the bottom of the paper for the cleanup later section. We are continuing to put away supplies in room 3 that should be staying in spaces or go back to different spaces. So there is the cart in the snack bar that has supplies. Each table in room 1 has supplies like scissors and pencils on it. And then there are coloring supplies on the bookshelf. Room 4 is the same thing. Each table now has one of those little orange containers. or baskets, whatever you want to think of them as, with pencils and scissors in them. And there are markers on the bookshelf. So if it's those supplies, then please make sure they're just being put back in that room where they go and stay there. As far as the ball closet goes, overall we're doing a great job keeping it organized and putting things away in there, but we're still propping the door open. We cannot have that door propped open. There are chemicals in there that we have to keep closed off to youth for safety purposes. So please do not put the doorstop in the ball closet. If you're doing it so you can roll balls out for free play, that's fine. But then when you leave the closet, you have to take the doorstop out. Specifically regarding the cart and the snack bar, it is now the home to several things. So the top has colored pencils, scissors, regular pencils, I'm not sure what else, that are generally for day camp. The bottom shelf or the second shelf, both of them should have Legos and some crayons and coloring books or paper for if we get them out in the morning time and then for the time after day camp is over. So that is the home for those things. So if you're looking for them or you're putting them away, that's where those things go. Just some general notes on supervision in places where we seem to be struggling a little bit, or maybe people just don't know how to follow and make sure we're doing what is considered best practice. So in the restrooms, specifically when they're changing before or after the pool, if for the girls' restroom, just leave it propped open and then you stand at approximately the mirror area so people can see you from the outside and you can make sure there are no shenanigans going on back where the girls are changing. For the boys' restroom, go ahead and leave the door propped open and then you again stand at the mirror area and make sure the boys are changing where they can't be seen in the mirror. So if they go stand by the lockers or where the wall's not at, generally we can see them from the outside in the mirror. But if they go in the stall or stand closer to the urinals, or if they go behind the wall by the door that leads to the gym, then that is fine. Remember that if you are supervising the game room, your attention needs to be more than just one place. So if you are playing bumper pool with a kid, then, take a couple turns and then do a lookout around the club with the intent to find someone doing something wrong. So let them prove you wrong that no one is doing anything that is unsafe or disrespectful. We cannot have 2 or 3 people in the pit participating in just dance if you are sitting, especially if you are sitting with your back to the rest of the club and no one else is out there. We're not supervising all areas. So for example, if Colin's already down there and has turned on Just Dance and he is even getting 20 kids down there dancing with him, then just leave it to him, or you still need to stand back further behind bumper pool where you can see both areas, or sit on that blue bench that we said by the back door where you can see both areas, so that way everybody's being supervised for safety. Same thing at the end of the day, we're sort of getting sucked into all the staff just joining together close to the pit, but oftentimes we're not supervising the pit and bumper pool at that time, we're just socializing. And also remember that we can spread out and do the end of day cleanup checklist that is at the front counter. Also, I totally understand that it is a shared space in my office and the staff room, but please only come in if you really need something at the end of the day if the door is closed. And this is a pet peeve, but if the door is all the way closed when you come in, then please close it all the way when you leave. For example, it's happened 3 times while I've been recording this where I had to get up and close it all the way. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hear me over the volume of the youth. Again, though, totally feel free to come in whenever you need anything. If you need to throw something in your cubby, do your timesheet, whatever, things like that. Because obviously this is all of our space and it's totally fine to come in. Just please close the door again if it's closed already. And don't feel upset if I'm busy and you're trying to talk to me about something that's not related to work. I'm not ignoring you purposely or trying to make you feel bad. I just have a lot of things to get done. If you've made it this far, there will be one more thing that I talk about after this, but I can assume that you've listened to all the other staff notes. So if you are hearing this part, then as soon as you finish the video, then not in the group text, or we'll give it away to the people who don't watch this. But if you are allowed to text just me, then text just me what your favorite animal is. If you are not allowed to text just me, then text Amanda and me in a group what your favorite animal is. Lastly, don't forget that our mission is to help all youth reach their full potential, and obviously a major part of doing that is keeping them safe while they're here, but also it's just creating those opportunities or using those opportunities that come up to impact youth or to make a difference in even just one of their lives. So don't forget to be filling out your Make a Difference papers and leaving them in your folders. So there were some people that for the first 2 weeks did not write anything down, and that is pretty disappointing because I'm sure you have all tried to make a difference, whether you realized it in the moment or not. So again, remember to take the time to fill those out. If you are scheduled until 5:45 and all the kids are gone and all the jobs are finished, that is a great time to fill it out. Likewise, at 7:15, if you're just waiting for youth to arrive, that would also be a great time to fill it out. And lastly, just a big ol' thank you to all of you. It is awesome to see some new people stepping up, some veteran workers stepping it up even more. And it was awesome how into things like Wacky Day you guys have been, and just making camp and the afternoon exciting and fun. Our definition of fun, not BGCA's definition of fun for youth. Just thanks. Again, you are making a difference whether you realize it or not. And just thank you so much.